Nia Jax is one of the most powerful female wrestler in world wrestling entertainment. She got signed with WWE in 2014 and later on went on to become a one-time Raw Women's Champion and two-time Women's Tag Team Champion. Despite her dominance, Nia Jax has constantly been criticized for injuring her fellow co-wrestlers and is often identified as an unsafe worker. So far, in my How Many Wrestlers Got Injured series, it is Nia Jax that takes the top prize as having injured 7 of his opponents. Let's see if Nia Jax can surpass Mr. Nia Jax and take the top spot as the most unsafe worker. Charlotte and Nia faced each other on the October 4th, 2017 episode of Raw. Nia not only botched many of her moves but could have legitimately injured Charlotte Flair that night. First, Nia botched a shoulder breaker when Charlotte's head hit her knee way too hard instead of her shoulder. The referee was clearly checking on Charlotte, trying to confirm if she could continue with the match. Second, Nia botched taking the moonsault from Charlotte.
Needing to pull out all the stops. There she goes!
All Nia Jax had to do was stand at the right position, or she could even adjust herself at the last moment to take the moonsault perfectly. Instead, Miss Jax did the exact opposite by not placing herself at the right position nor trying to adjust to save Charlotte Flair from going headfirst into the mat from 15 feet in the air. Nia Jax and Bayley had a one-on-one match against each other on the July 31st, 2017 episode of Raw. During the match, Nia Jax tossed Bayley out of the ring through the bottom rope, which landed shoulder first. Bayley clearly looked like she was in a lot of pain as she kept favoring her right shoulder, but still somehow managed to win the match by countout. However, it was later announced that Bayley suffered a separated shoulder and was removed from the women's championship scene at that time. The wrestling world was excited as Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch were scheduled to face each other at the Survivor Series. But then Nia Jax happened. As SmackDown invaded Raw ahead of the Survivor Series, there was a huge brawl between all the women wrestlers inside the ring. During the brawl, Jax legit punched Becky in the face. Lynch herself has said that the punch from Jax blacked her out. Not just that, but the bloody mess that followed was not the stuff you usually see in the WWE. Either way, the bloody nose made Becky an even bigger star, but her lacerated face with a concussion forced her to step down from her match against Ronda Rousey. Another on the list of superstars injured by Nia Jax is Mandy Rose. Nia Jax in the year of 2020 was feuding with Mandy Rose and her partner Dana Brooke. On one such episode of Raw, Jax threw Mandy outside of the ring and couldn't control the momentum behind her shove. I have a feeling that Nia Jax really doesn't know anything about her own strength. Mandy hit her shoulder hard on the ring apron, injuring it in the process. WWE did not comment on the injury immediately, but later shot an angle to write off the injured Mandy Rose and her partner Dana Brooke from the Women's Traditional Survivor Series match of that year. – 2018 was a particularly bad year for Nia Jax and almost all of her opponents. She injured 3 women on this list, including Ember Moon, in 2018 alone. On the December 3rd, 2018 edition of Raw, Nia and Tamina took on Ronda Rousey and Ember Moon. While there was no visible evidence of any injury, Ember Moon's husband Matthew Palmer dropped a tweet on the next day after Raw. He indirectly sent a message to Nia Jax, but soon deleted that tweet, and his tweet read, "Hope this unsafe moron doesn't hurt my wife again." Both ZELINA Vega and Nia Jax were part of the Women's Battle Royal at WWE Evolution, first ever women's only pay-per-view. Jax, Ember Moon, and ZELINA Vega were the final 3 women standing in the ring. Jax went after Vega and threw her out of the ring for an elimination. Nia put too much force behind throwing ZELINA and eventually led to her being out of action for 3 weeks. WWE, Nia Jax, and even ZELINA Vega were pretty tight-lipped about the incident. But when you rewatch the elimination, you know that it was a rough landing. Kairi Sane suffered a horrific injury at the hands of Nia Jax during the WWE Raw tapings in June of 2020. Some critics insist that Jax throws her opponents with all her strength, but she doesn't really think about the other person's stature. Someone like Kairi who wouldn't be able to control her fall if someone like Nia is pushing her with all her momentum. During Nia's match with Kairi Sane, Nia threw Kairi at the steel ring steps.
By a long shot. Oh, God.
She threw KAIRI with so much force that she couldn't turn and take the bump on her back and ended up hitting her head on the steps, busting her wide open. Since this is our 4th installment of my series of how many wrestlers have been injured by other wrestlers, let's take a gander at this low quality compilation of data I just put together on this notepad. I originally was gonna put this on an Excel sheet, but then I realized I don't have Excel. So let's see which wrestler so far has caused the most damage to their co-workers. Seth Rollins has 4 injured wrestlers to his name, Goldberg's got 5, Nia Jax got 7, and Nia Jax has also gotten 7. Before I crown our champion that causes the most injuries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if I missed any other wrestler injured by Nia Jax. And our champions are actually co-champions, like Bret Hart and Lex Luger were co-Royal Rumble winners at one point. Since it's a tie between Nia Jax and Nia Jax, both having a total of 7 bodily injuries to their resume.